From the Jeannie Hayes Virtual Studio, this is Marquette Now.
Good evening, I'm Anthony Simboli.
And I'm Donna Sarkar.
Many new buildings are showing up on Marquette campus, but is the university improving its older ones?
The Hellfire Theater has been inaccessible to people with disabilities for decades. Lucy Sullivan has the story.
Putting on a show in the Hellfire Theater requires all hands and feet on deck.
I mean, the challenge is that if you're on the second floor, there aren't restrooms, there's no elevator.
But if your hands or feet aren't working right, it's difficult to get around the building since it's mostly inaccessible to people with mobility issues.
Everybody's trying to put the best foot forward and try and make sure that, that they have a good experience.
But theater faculty member Stephen Hudson Merritt realized that wasn't possible for senior Brielle Richmond when she tried to take the stage her freshman year. Richmond broke her foot and couldn't get up the many stairs in the building.
Because of how the layout is, it was the only flat, level surface layout that I didn't have to do stairs.
Richmond could only get to the stage by going through a side door and walking down this long hallway.
And that posed a challenge because if depending on how many people in the show and person with a knee scooter or crutches, sometimes there's a limited amount of space.
The Hellfire Theater was built in 1977, 13 years before Congress passed the Americans with Disabilities Act, requiring that both public and private colleges make programs accessible for students with disabilities.
I'm aware that there's a difference between being truly handicapped accessible and handicapped convenient.
The building isn't completely inaccessible, but Hudson Merritt thinks something has to change.
So it's now all a challenge of funding. And the proposal of funding, I think, on the high end, at least the initial estimates, this entire piece would cost somewhere around $18 million.
The new proposal would drastically change the layout in the future, but fix some of the bigger mobility issues like stairs right now. From the Hellfire Theater, I'm Lucy Sullivan, Marquette Wire News.
There are some other buildings with accessibility issues on campus. The old gym at 16th and Clybourne Streets is only accessible to people with disabilities through the parking lot. The Straz Business Building also has one elevator. The elevator has a sign asking people to give preference to those with disabilities before getting on.
Marquette is still receiving pushback after rejecting the idea of using a vacant hotel property as a homeless shelter. MUSG members working with school officials to find a solution. Clara Jansen reports.
As the winter months close in on the city of Milwaukee, attention is once again turned to the problem of homelessness. One city alderman gave a suggestion in a press conference that stunned many, including Marquette University.
An empty hotel. A hotel with 150 rooms that is vacant. That hotel is owned by Marquette University.
Marquette responded by saying that they are not in a position to use their facilities, vacant or otherwise, to house non-residents and assume the complex responsibilities that come with operating a shelter. Marquette's student government decided to draft a recommendation to university officials and met to discuss a plan. MUSG's Legislative Vice President Dan Brophy explained why MUSG is not recommending the university open the hotel.
After city officials and other inspectors had looked at the building, it wasn't necessarily safe to have people in that building.
The final recommendation, which passed unanimously, says Marquette is an integral part of the community and has a responsibility to address systematic issues. So for now, the doors of the hotel will remain closed as the university prepares to eventually demolish it. From the Ramada City Center Hotel, I'm Clara Jansen, Marquette Wire News.
The Commons Residence Hall will be blessed tomorrow night. The blessing will celebrate the first campus dorm and dining hall to be built in 50 years. The Commons' two chaplains, Reverend Michael Mayer and Ann Mulgrew, will offer the blessing alongside President Lovell.
Students looking for something new to do around the city can go check out the new Sherman Phoenix. The location at Sherman Park on the northwest side had its grand opening Friday. It includes 29 Black-owned businesses. The project cost about $3.5 million altogether. The shops offer everything from spring rolls to yoga.
If you're looking for Christmas gift ideas, you can also check out a student-owned business. Seniors Jack Toner and Isabel Block just opened up a pop-up shop that features products from local entrepreneurs, including greeting cards and baked goods. The 5th Ward location on 1st Street will be open daily until December 23rd from 10 to 6.
It may seem impossible to start your own business as a freshman in college.
But one student has made it possible with his headphones company. Shane Hogan reports.
Kevin O'Finn isn't your average college student. On top of schoolwork, he also runs his own business. And for O'Finn, it all started when he was a senior in high school. And thanks to a jog around town and some advice from his mom, his idea was born.
And I had my idea for the next class, and I went to that class the next day. I pitched that same idea of wireless earphones lighting up to the beat of music, and everybody loved it. And I kept that idea for the rest of the year, and I ended up winning $10,000 from my high school.
Headphones Plus is the name of his company, and it's one of a kind in its market.
The Plus One, the first ever wireless earphones that light up to the beat of music. And then on the back right here, Headphones Plus right up here with the Plus One, the generation model, and just kind of a image of what the headphones look like. They sent me a prototype, and it was just like an amazing opportunity to be able to like hold your prototype, something that you created, something that you invented.
Kelsey Otero, the Associate Director of Social Innovation, explains how the 707 Hub can support students like O'Finn.
We believe that creativity is like a muscle that you need to flex and you need to stretch it just like you would exercise and work out to build it up. Kevin has the idea, he's super motivated, and so we love being able to work with students like him that want to just continue to scale and move their idea forward and are totally open to all new things that come their way.
Now that Headphones Plus is gaining traction, O'Finn is starting to increase promotion. The latest event took place at the Kappa Sigma fraternity. The idea was to show off the product in the best way possible, a glow party. And in just 2 months, you can find Headphones Plus in retail stores nationwide. I'm Shane Hogan, Marquette Wire News.
Foxconn is looking for information technology interns this winter. The company said 2 to 3 positions are open to students of any major. If you're interested, you should have experience with software policy and security.
A new core curriculum director is taking over. James Martin is leaving the History Department chair position for the new role. He's been with Marquette since 1986. Martin is replacing Sarah Feldner, who recently began her role as interim dean of the College of Communications.
We've all seen a TED Talk or two, but did you know you'll be able to watch them right here on campus?
The campus group TEDx Marquette U just hosted their first panel. McCain Vogel has the story.
Most high school seniors are worried about what they're going to wear to the winter formal dance, but Bria Smith is concerned about making a difference. Bria started her own website called Honey for Your Tea.
The honey and the tea are both components of what can be an intake for a young girl of color. It's a platform for young girls of color to send in stories about discrimination, oppression, or just things that they've experienced living in like what people would call white America and how they weren't being able to have their voices amplified.
The 17-year-old was also part of a TEDx panel at Marquette about women's issues.
I know that being a black woman, it comes to stereotypes and it comes to depressions and it comes to different labels that I tried to defy.
This is Kyle Haggy. He is the Associate Director and co-founder of TEDx Marquette.
TEDx Marquette U is a new group on campus. This year, it's its first year. We modeled it after a group that was previously on campus called MarquetteX, but now we have the official TED license.
Executive Director of Exploit No More, Jarrett Luckett, was part of the panel as well as the tabling event prior to the TED Talks.
So Exploit No More, we are a local Milwaukee organization and we focus on anti-trafficking, mainly with child sex trafficking. So we do a lot of work in Milwaukee.
And while this event was important for the Marquette community, for Bria and Jarrett, there is more work to be done.
And we're working to grow our organization more nationwide with some of the programs that we offer.
At the 707 Hub, I'm McCain Vogel, Marquette Wire News.
It's starting to get cold outside. I hope it doesn't snow over finals.
Yeah, neither do I. Let's find out about the weather with Sierra Jones.
I'm not a big fan of snow myself, but lucky for us, that doesn't seem to be the case. Tonight, we are at 32 degrees in Milwaukee with light snow showers. In Superior, it is 11 degrees, 14 degrees in Wausau, and 24 degrees in Milwaukee later on tonight. Tomorrow's highs are 15 degrees in Superior, 18 degrees in Wausau, with 26 degrees in Milwaukee. Tonight, it will be a low of 26 degrees with west winds blowing between 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow's is 26 degrees. And on Friday, it will be partly cloudy, but with 22 degrees. Over the weekend, it will be sunny with highs of 30 degrees and 32 degrees. The streak will continue onto Monday with 31 degrees, but on Tuesday, it'll be partly cloudy, but a high of 34 degrees. This was news. Thank you for watching. We'll see you after the break.
Human trafficking is a huge issue in Milwaukee, but it's rarely talked about.
But this group of students is looking to start a conversation. Blake Ruppy has the details.
At this time of the year, one would think finals would be on a student's mind.
I basically wanted the opportunity to make a difference.
Writing Christmas cards are just the tinsel on the tree. Human trafficking is a big hub in Milwaukee. Just ask Rachel Monica Wilcox, founder and CEO of Lotus Legal Clinic.
In the dairy industry, same thing. Could be in the hotel and the hospitality industry or in restaurants. But what Milwaukee has obviously become really well known for is its reputation for sex trafficking. And we're constantly in the top 5 cities in the nation on an annual basis for the recovery from law enforcement of operations trying to rescue victims.
And some Marquette alumni are helping survivors seek justice with their act of kindness.
Is always looking out for one another. Being educated on this, not having the girls walking home alone, because these guys come in groups. It only takes a second to kidnap someone. And if you do see something, say something.
Vilmo says for young leaders,
if you want to make a difference, just go ahead and do it.
Marquette's sold-out organization is doing just that with their fundraiser Dressember.
Last year I did every single day. I posted a picture on Instagram.
Reporting from Milwaukee, Blake Ruppy, Marquette Wire News.
The 3-minute thesis competition is back for another round. Registration is open now until January 22nd for graduate students looking to defend their research. Whoever can best represent their thesis in 3 minutes or less wins a cash prize.
A bat found in Rayner Memorial Library is now sleeping soundly at the Wildlife Rehabilitation Center. Students initially reported a bat flying around the basement of the library last week. Students are still unsure how the bat got into the building.
Singing Christmas carols during the holidays is always a popular tradition. The campus ministry liturgical choir is doing just that. Chelsea Johanning reports.
Thomas Koester knows what he is talking about. Thomas is the director of the liturgical choir and has been leading the choir for 7 years through song and prayer.
Lessons, the inspired word of God spoken long ago.
When you say Thomas, some think kind.
Is very kind and open and honest, and I think sometimes a little too honest, but of course that's what we need because he's always pushing us to be better.
Other students not only think of kindness, but also think about how he runs a tight ship.
Yes, every week. You're allowed to skip 1 mass per month, which is nice, if you have like a busy homework week or something.
And that tight schedule pays off. The Lessons and Carols Advent concert is the only concert the choir performs in the winter outside of the Sunday services. Young and old come to enjoy the carols and the scripture.
Being in choir and being with a family is just an amazing experience.
From the Church of the Jesu, I'm Chelsea Johanning for Marquette Wire News.
A beloved Chicago tradition has made its way to Milwaukee. Chris Kendall Market here for the first time ever in its new home at the Pfizer Forum. The market is open until 8 p.m. on weeknights and 9 on the weekends. Hurry though, it closes after the new year.
If you need a break during finals week, the Counseling Center has you covered. They're holding a take-a-break session tomorrow from noon to 1:30 p.m. It'll include food, therapy animals, and stress management tips for handling finals week.
Well, with final comes Christmas cheer at Marquette.
You can now see the Marquette Christmas tree lit up outside the AMU. Jack Ryan reports.
Igniting Hope, an annual community-wide service event, is put on by Marquette University's Residence Hall Association.
So why not locate ourselves in a spot where we are getting to interact not just with other Marquette community members, but people from the city of Milwaukee, to spread that spirit of joy, of hope, serve the community, and invite everyone to celebrate with us.
Organized by students for the beginning of December, National Communications Coordinator for the Residence Hall Association, Jake Smith, states it's vital for the Marquette community.
I think it's really important for us to reach out and make that connection with the community.
Igniting Hope is divided into 3 parts: hot chocolate handouts at bus stations, a tree lighting ceremony, and a reception in the Alumni Memorial Union. Smith states handing out hot chocolate to community members is his favorite part of the event.
Community outreach, even though it's fairly new and we did it first last year, it's pretty fun to actually be able to, just brighten everyone's day up and see the smile on people's faces when they come up on a cold day like today.
Blankets could be made from Milwaukee Children's Hospital, and Marquette's Golden Blues performed while people ate. The Residence Hall Association says Igniting Hope will be back next year for Marquette to stay involved with the Milwaukee community. From the Alumni Memorial Union, I'm Jack Ryan, Marquette Wire News.
There is just one thing.
Welcome back. I'm McCain Vogel with your Marquette Sports Updates. In men's basketball action, Marquette beat the University of Texas El Paso 69-76 last night. Jack Phillips reports.
They often say that a picture can represent 1,000 words, but what about a sound? Oh, sorry, I guess my yawn can describe Marquette men's basketball's game against the UTEP Miners Tuesday night.
It's a classic trap game. Come off a big win. Everybody knows we have Wisconsin coming up, and you want today to be easier, and there's no such thing as easy in college basketball.
The game seemed to be closer than it should have been, especially with the Golden Eagles coming off an impressive win against then number 12 ranked Kansas State. Despite the victory over the University of Texas El Paso, Marquette still totaled 15 turnovers on the night and only won the game by 7 points.
Yeah, I just think, win's a win. We're learning how to win. It's college basketball, so you're going to take a win any day of the week. But, obviously it wasn't as good as we wanted it to be. UTEP did an incredible job, but we're moving on to the next play and looking forward to the next game.
Regardless of the outcome of the game, the squad's non-conference schedule continues to increase in difficulty. Not only that, but one of Marquette's most heated rivals pays a visit to Milwaukee Saturday afternoon in the number 12 ranked Wisconsin Badgers. This team may be just another match on the schedule, but for the entire state of Wisconsin, the pressure couldn't be any higher.
Obviously, Wisconsin's a really great team. They're ranked pretty high in the country, and they deserve that. They got probably the best big in the country, in Ethan Happ. So we're going to have to defend really well and just play our game, just focus on ourselves, and really just day by day, take it day by day in our preparation.
Alongside producer Megan Rock from Fiserv Forum, I'm Jack Phillips, Marquette Wire Sports.
Looking good. They're 7-2 overall and ranked 4th in the Big East. The men face rival Wisconsin this Saturday at 4 p.m. at the Fiserv Forum. Women's volleyball is in the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament for the first time in program history. The Golden Eagles hosted the first 2 rounds against High Point and Cincinnati last weekend, defeating them in 3 sets each. Here's what redshirt senior Jenna Rosenthal had to say about making program history.
Happy that we got another chance to play at home at the Al McGuire Center, and the fact that we get to go out on a win. We get to host and we get to go have our send-off into the Sweet 16 and just have the support and love of Marquette University all around us is something so special.
The Golden Eagles' overall season record is 28-6. They next play the University of Illinois in Champaign this Friday at 11 a.m. Women's basketball remains undefeated in the regular season after their 85-74 win over Michigan Sunday. Senior Erica Davenport led the Golden Eagles with 21 points and 8 rebounds. Senior guard Alazia Blockton added 18 points and 5 boards. Marquette shot lights out in the first half, going 21 for 37 from the field. The team fell apart in the fourth quarter with the Wolverines outscoring them 26-11. But the Golden Eagles still came out victorious. The Golden Eagles are now 6-1 overall and ranked 18th in the NCAA. They'll travel to Starkville, Mississippi to face number 6 Mississippi State tomorrow night at 7 p.m. That's all I have for sports, but don't go anywhere. Clara Jansen will be right back with Down to the Wire.
The Bureau of Labor Statistics says healthcare professionals are overwhelmingly female, but only 2% of them are non-white.
We have Matthew Martinez to talk about issues surrounding underrepresentation in the healthcare field. Down to the Wire is right now.
Thanks, Donna and Anthony. I'm Clara Jansen, and welcome to tonight's edition of Down to the Wire. I'm joined here tonight by Matt Martinez, who published a story this week about women of color in the healthcare industry. Hi, Matt.
Hi, how's it going?
Good.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, women of color in the healthcare industry, okay, that's an issue, but how does it affect us here on Marquette's campus, and how does it involve Marquette's community?
Well, you know, when we originally set out to start reporting this story, we were considering doing kind of more an in-depth look at the issue in general, lack of representation for women of color in healthcare. And we were going to do that kind of by interviewing different people around the community in Milwaukee as well. We ended up doing that with Kenesha Williams, an ER nurse from Freighter, but we were also going to interview some undergrads and stuff like that from different colleges within Marquette as well, which we also ended up doing. But through the course of our reporting, we found out about this program called HCOP, Health Career Opportunities Program. And we found out that it was going to be shut down because it lost its federal funding last year. And I think that is a very relevant topic, especially regarding this issue, because HCOP used to provide opportunities for people from underprivileged backgrounds in order to try and enter into the healthcare field. And I think, you know, kind of the piece as a whole is representative of a lack of opportunities and stuff like that, because that's where the main issue lies, is there.
Okay, so what kind of numbers and data did you come across while you were studying this issue?
Well, you know, it's really tricky to try and find data on stuff like this because the Bureau of Labor Statistics really doesn't publish things very specifically for women of color, and that's just because of the methodology in which they report numbers and stuff like that. Thanks to different organizations like the Association of American Medical Colleges, we know that currently, of current practitioners, only 2% are black females. If you look at BLS data, you can kind of get an idea of what's going on, but it really shows more of a racial disparity in general. In 2003, registered nurses were the highest, biggest healthcare occupation, and 92.1% of registered nurses in 2003 were females, 9.9% were black, and 3.4% were Hispanic or Latino, but those numbers are for the population as a whole, not for women or men specifically. If you look at the numbers from 2017, 12.3% were black, 6.9% were Hispanic or Latino, but you saw a dip in the number of women in healthcare at 89.9%. So it's very difficult to nail down, but it is indicative regardless of kind of a problem for different races in general. Yeah.
And so Marquette lost its funding this year for that special program?
Correct. Yeah, they were originally supposed to compete for the program. A number of colleges get it, but you kind of have to score in a certain manner and do different applications and stuff like that. And they ended up not getting that just based on the fact that the program did not give them that money. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's about all the time we have for tonight. Back to Donna and Anthony.
Thanks for watching Marquette Now. Check out marquettewire.org for more. I'm Anthony Simboli.
And I'm Donna Sarkar. Good night, Marquette.